are the pros and the cons to dating guys older than me?
Ain't nobody in here ever had a teacher or a professor that was the same age as him. If we kings, let us teach.
So what do you teach her?
Amen.
What are some of the things you teach her?
Amen, King. Teach her.
That took a damn turn. When you date somebody older, sometimes they can act like they your parent, and they can and then because I'm listening to how you took control of that whole conversation, and that was kind of questionable right there, because it told me something, just like it told the rest of y'all something. You hear me? Okay. The problem is that when it's somebody younger than you, you feel like you can fix them. You want them to move at your pace in life, but you have to be careful. I'm gonna say this to you because I'm not in y'all relationship. I'm gonna say this to you right here. Okay. You still have to learn life at your own pace, okay? It's beautiful that you have somebody that can hold you accountable because of their life experiences, but this is your life. You can't merge your identity to him because he has more life experiences than you, okay? So be careful with that. Now, I'm not saying that it's predatory what it is that you're doing. I'm just saying when you enter that dynamic, it's very easy to feel like I am a parent. I am fathering you. I'm trying to fix you. I'm trying to teach you. And although it may come from a good place, good intent, sometimes it's not always good for you.
No, I wanted to let the whole clip play because, one, it was kind of off-putting the way the brother came on. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure everybody in the room probably looked up like, damn, what the hell? Like, bro came in kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of hoping, you know what I'm saying, that it was like a chopped up clip. Like they put that in there like that to cause that type of reaction from people to get people to respond and comment, right? But I'm gonna just be honest. This shit, it was kind of scary. Like if that was my daughter, I would feel some type of way like, okay, I understand a man supposed to be in a position of a leader and I'm gonna just be honest. Every man is supposed to be a teacher and your first student is supposed to be your wife. But that type of dynamic looked crazy the way he came on there barking on that microphone. That looked crazy as hell. So I want to go back through it, and you already know we finna jump in that Bible.
What are the pros and the cons to dating guys older than me?
Ain't nobody in here ever had a teacher or a professor that was the same age as him.
Now, I have a strong feeling, this is just me thinking about how social media work, that they probably chopped this clip and put those pieces together to where he cut her off like that. Because this is just me thinking about it right now, a verse that I didn't put on my paper yet. I want to go get that verse right quick because that kind of irked me watching him cut her off like that. Like, let her get her full thought out, you know what I'm saying? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. First and foremost, you don't even know her full question and you cutting her off like that. First and foremost. Verse 8. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. So especially in a public forum like this, it make you look a certain type of way out the gate. Before you can even really get a hold of who this man really is, we already looking at you in the negative. Out the gate, without knowing anything about you, we automatically thinking about you in the negative. Out the gate. Let's get some more. So that just look crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I try to position myself the way I at least allow people to ask their question. You know what I'm saying? At least let people finish their thought before I start to speak. Now, is it always easy to do that? No. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you want to cut people off because something that they saying early on you want to respond to, and they might talk long enough where you forget your original point. So I understand that. But at the same time, you got to work on that. Period, point blank. It is what it is. This is 2 Peter chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Because I'm going to just put it to you like this. The dynamics that they speaking about ain't the issue, right? a man being in a position to teach, guide, and mold his woman. That's not an issue. But when you come on moving like this, it gives people the leeway to speak evil of something that's supposed to be the right way it's supposed to be done. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna read it again. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. Because let's be real, in every facet of life, you got the bad apples. It don't just go for religion. It go for schools. It go for lawyers. It go for judges. In every walk of life, every profession, you got people that do things the right way, and you got people that do things the wrong way. Ain't no different when you jump into the spiritual space. It's gonna be people that can garner the attention and can pull people to them that ain't got everybody, best interests in mind, right? He said, even denying the Lord that bought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways. Because let's be real, most people that be moving like that, they got a charisma about themselves. You know what I'm saying? They can bring people to them and they just destroy them when they get there. It is what it is. We're not going to sit here and act like these brothers don't be pulling a lot of women. We're not going to sit here and act like these pastors don't garner a large crowd. They don't have big churches. So we're not going to act like they not charismatic in how they move. Right? But it said, many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Because these people have these traumatic experiences in these situations, and now they telling their story, and now people looking at it from the outside looking in like, nah, that's evil. I'm gonna just be honest. Listening to that clip and the way he came in, I was like, okay, I understand it. I understand why some women be kind of feeling some type of way about those type of relationships in terms of an older man dealing with a younger woman. Because that, I ain't gonna front, that's my first time seeing it done like that live. Like, you in front of a bunch of people. You can just imagine how he probably moving behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand it why some women don't want to be in a relationship where they having to look up to a man. They having to, depend on a man from that aspect of they really being taught and guided, molded by this man. So I just wanted to get that right quick. Going back.
What are the pros and the cons to dating guys older than me?
Ain't nobody in here ever had a teacher or a professor that was the same age as him. If we kings, let us teach.
So what do you teach her? Amen. What are some of the things you teach her? Amen, King.
That took a damn turn. When you date somebody older, sometimes they...
Now, I want to touch on that right quick because he right. But it's like, it's a way, there's a way that you're supposed to go about everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a way that you do everything. And I learned that from the Bible, because teaching the scriptures, especially, you know what I'm saying, when I was teaching on the street, you have to present the information in a way that they can digest it. It's a verse in Titus where we talk about how we supposed to try to win the people over. And it's hard to do that when you just browbeating people, right? It's a time and a place for all of that. It's a time to teach and it's a time to tear somebody down. But in most cases, most people are teachable. In most cases that I had teaching on the street, most people will sit there and listen. Even if they scoffing a little bit, they still asking questions and allowing you to answer, if that make any sense. But there's a way that you teach that don't look demonstrative like this. That just is what it is. But I want to get something right quick. Verse 14. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Because those are the best situations especially for men. And most women, they will say the same if they in a relationship with a man that's teaching them, that's guiding them, and it's making their lives easier. I tell my wife this all the time. And let's be real, most women don't like taking accountability. Okay. So if I'm telling you to do something, right? If I'm asking you and trying to get you to do things in a particular way, for you not to have to take accountability, it's best for you to just do it how I asked. Because if it don't work the way that I asked, I have to take the accountability because I told you to do that. But I'm going to read this again. Verse 14, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed, because that's biblical for a husband to teach his wife. How do you think Eve understood that she wasn't supposed to do A, B, and C in the garden? Adam had to teach it to her. God gave it to Adam. Adam gave it to Eve. He had to teach his wife those things. That was the issue with her learning something else from another man. That man was teaching her something against what her husband was teaching her, and it was against what God taught Adam. So it's a beautiful thing when a brother and a sister can get into that bag of he's able to teach her. But it just looked crazy. I ain't even gonna front. It looked crazy. It looked really crazy. I can't front and act like that's not what I saw. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Because I'm going to just be honest, me looking at it, it looked like you a verbally abusive dude at home. Because let's be real. Everybody tamed themselves out in public. Let's be real. Everybody tamed themselves in public. So if you're willing to come on there and bark like that in front of all those people, yeah. The first time she do something he don't like, I'm pretty sure he be blowing on her. I could be wrong. But that's just how it looked. That's why the scriptures say this. Verse 22, abstain from all appearance. Whether you doing it or not, you can't even look like you doing it, because that's going to be the mind frame that people approach you from, because you look like you doing evil. Let's read it again. Abstain from all appearance of evil. It is what it is. Going back.
Ain't nobody in here ever had a teacher or a professor that was the same age as if. If we kings, let us teach.
So what do you teach her? Amen. What are some of the things you teach her?
Amen, King. Teach her.
That took a damn turn. When you date somebody older, sometimes they can act like they your parent, and they can step.
And this. I feel like this was one of those parts where we done got so far away from our culture that we don't see things the way they supposed to be done, if that make any sense. She said when people be in situations with an older individual, they treat them like they, you know what I'm saying, like a parent. They kind of be in a mode like they feel like they're your parent. But guess what? If she had an actual father who vetted dude, you wouldn't have to say that. Because guess what? The same way I probably felt when I saw that, I'm pretty sure if her father could see this clip, it would probably bother him too. It would make him want to have a conversation with dude like, hey man, what's going on with you and my daughter? What y'all really got planned? And we don't look at it like that, because in the black community, we don't really have fathers standing in the gap, protecting their daughters from possibly traumatic situations. Because for you to be on a public forum asking for the pros and the cons, best believe she feel like there's some cons. That's not good. That's not good. Let's go back in the Bible. That looks crazy. That looked crazy, man. I'm just being honest. It looked crazy. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding. So it's a father's job to vet the man that his daughter is going to be dealing with. That's a father's job. So for a young woman to be dealing with an older man, and she's asking a panel of people who most likely don't have experience in that area, who don't have no ties to her, don't know what her spirit is like, don't know if she, you know what I'm saying, she do well amongst authority figures or nothing. They don't know. But her father should know the most about her. That would be the perfect person in this situation to tell her and give her guidance. But that's not how we do things in the black community. We need to fix that. It is what it is. Let's get one more. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants. Now, this is correction for the brother, because I'm just being honest in what I saw. This brother, the way he moved in that small little segment, he looked like he's a lion in the house. What does that mean? People are terrified of you. People are scared to say things to you. People are scared to do things wrong around you. Why? Because you're going to bite their head off. Let's read it again. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants. Because it's just like when you at work and like you got like a horrible boss or your supervisor, like really asshole. People don't like coming to work. That's why I said, nor frantic among thy servants. Because if you in a position of leadership, you need people to follow you willingly. You don't need people to be nervous. You don't need people to be scared. You don't need people to really hate being around you. You need them to buy in. I say this all the time because you could kind of look at it from a standpoint of like a football coach. There's some coaches, they players will run through a wall for them. Then there's other coaches, they players that really don't want to play no more. It is what it is. Same concept. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man, because I don't think I was looking too deep off into it. But at the same time, it opens up a conversation that we can discuss. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'm out.